Well, we have to do something. I mean, it seems almost impossible right now, especially when my friend Jim Rickards announced what Biden signed into law, Executive Order, March 6, 2022. It authorized CBDC, central bank digital currency, which is surveillance. That's what every country in the world is doing it now. China's way ahead of us. So that's social credit scores and all those other things. They're going, it started with the little masks, which everybody knows doesn't work. Or when I saw the doctors speaking out against COVID and they got taken down, that's our freedom. So I don't care if you're a Marxist or this or communist or a capitalist. Don't take my freedom away. And if I want to carry a gun, let me carry a gun. Don't disarm me. So that's kind of that's why I'm a U.S. Marine. I mean, I fought for our freedom, not for capitalism.
Hello and welcome to Wealthy Value. In today's video, Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki talks about the secrets to achieving financial independence, why teachers' unions are such an obstacle to providing kids a financial education, why he's worried about the new central bank digital currency, and how to fight woke corporations. He also shares the 5 Gs you need to survive and thrive during the coming recession. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video, where Robert Kiyosaki reveals his thoughts about CBDCs along with his #1 financial advice for everyone. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. Let's dive right into the video.
Well, when I wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, which came out in 1997, it was turned down by every one of those Marxist book editors in New York.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I know, you know what I'm talking about.
They're all crumbling now, so
Yeah.
you're getting your just rewards.
And I asked the question in 1997, I published a book. So what does school teach you about money? Why not? See, and then that's when those Marxists in New York City couldn't answer the question. They said, well, you don't know what you're talking about. And I said, what do you mean? He says, well, you talk about the rich not paying taxes. I said, that's correct. So if you understand taxes came in 1913 with the creation of the Federal Reserve Bank. The Fed is a central bank. Doesn't that send chills up and down your spine? So in 1913.
It does now. It does now. It maybe didn't 10 years ago, but I was very different 10 years ago.
And Dave, 10 years ago, if you and I were having this conversation, the little white men in the rubber suits would be dragging me out the door. So I said, I mean, what did they teach you about money? And they go, nothing. I said, you ever ask yourself why? Well, no, because money is the love of money is the root of all evil. Some of that Christian stuff. I'm not knocking Christians. I'm just saying, it's a lot of religious indoctrination in money. If you study money, that means you're going to be greedy, evil, and be a sex trafficker or something. I'm going, there's so much stuff attached to this little subject called money. So capitalism to me is just basically free market capitalism. It's freedom. You want to be a communist? Knock yourself out. And most teachers are communists. They just don't know it. They don't understand that taxes, but what Marx said about a progressive income tax is essential for the spread of communism. It's right in the book. Read it. Well, I'll tell you what. I didn't do well in school. Only reason I got into Naval Academy and Merchant Marine Academy is I played football and I had high SATs. My grades were terrible. I just hated school. I just hated it, but I got through it. But teachers live in a different world, as you know. They have a different value system. It's not good or bad. So in my family, is the number of advanced degrees you had made you superior to those who didn't. So I used to say to my dad with a PhD, poor dad, PhD, does that stand for poor, helpless, and desperate? And naturally I got my mouth washed out with soap, if you know what I mean. And my rich dad never went to school. So he was trained as a small business guy starting at the age of 13. So he'd seen, like I said, when I was in Vietnam, what was reported on the news didn't happen. I was in those battles. I was at Quang Tri, Hue, I fought in Camran, outside of Camran and all this. It was fake news, exactly as Trump said. But I was 9 years old. I'm going, well, how come some people are rich and why are some people poor? And as you know, David, one of the biggest problems we have today is this gap between rich and poor. It sets up revolution. And I don't think that's a mistake. So I go to this rich kid's school and I asked the teachers, well, how do I get rich? Well, she said, you stay in school. I said, my poor dad stayed in school. He's still poor. you, know, you know how kids are. They go, ¿Qué pasa? What's happening here?
Yeah.
So that's how the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad started. But the real test of the thing was that movie Caddyshack, years ago, Chevy Chase and all those characters.
I've seen it roughly 4,000 times.
But that's the classic story of rich and poor, So at 10, I take up the game of golf, and I have to hitchhike to the country club, but I have to sit in the caddy shack, and my classmates are in the country club. And I keep asking myself again, ¿Qué pasa? How come some people are rich and some people are poor? And that kind of became my lifelong quest and question on that. I did go to military school. I was a horrible student, but I got congressional nominations to Naval Academy and U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in New York. I took Merchant Marine Academy. And in 1965, when I went there, it's purely military. It's one of the 5 federal academies of the Air Force, Army, Navy, Coast Guard, and anyway, this is the book they had me read. So while my peers going to traditional Snowflake U are studying Keynes and Adam Smith and my economics teacher at the academy had us read Marx, Hitler, Mao, Stalin, Lenin. So at 18 years old, Dave, I'm effed up, going, holy mackerel. And that's when the kind of lights go on. I'm 18 years old, military school, I'm being yelled at, screamed at. And I realized that most of my friends were communists, but they don't know it. I'm not saying they're bad people. It's like, can you be a Hindu? Can you be Christian? Can you be Muslim? Can you be Jewish? Economics is basically a religion. That's all it is. We learn by doing. And so the cash flow board game, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the only book that covered the 3 financial statements: income statement, balance sheet, statement of cash flow. Those are the 3 things that count. And so when I walk into my banker today, like in 2008, when the whole thing collapsed with Lehman, and by the way, I was on CNN speaking to Wolf Blitzer saying Lehman was going down.
Wow.
So I called that one because you can see it coming, And so I was on Lehman and I called it coming down and all this stuff. But it's just a matter of teaching. All we have to do is teach. But the teachers' unions are in the way. And my poor dad, guess what he was head of? Teachers' union. And if you study Marx, his words were, workers of the world unite. And my father and my rich dad, I was like 15 or 16, his workers were going to go on strike in Hawaii. And rich dad called me and says, would you mind coming to maintain one of our desks for us at night? So I said, sure. So I went down and I helped my rich dad out by just be a kid, managing the desk so tourists could check in and out. And I got home and my poor dad gave me hell. He says, you're a scab.
Wow.
I never saw it like that. I was just helping a friend out. But the teachers union, as you know, they're as Marxist as they come. Workers of the world unite. So that's all in Capitalist Manifesto. I think the first thing to do is question the indoctrination. As Thomas Sowell, from Stanford says, it's not education, it's indoctrination. Go to school. What do you learn about money? Nothing. Get a job. Who pays the highest taxes? Workers. Pay your taxes. Rich don't pay taxes. Get out of debt. I'm $1 billion in debt because in 1971, when Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, I said, thank you, Jesus. I'm going to borrow my ass off now and invest in the stock market. I don't invest in the stock market. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But having a rich dad and having financial education, understanding financial statements, understanding cash flow gave me freedom that most people will never have because they've been indoctrinated. Go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, pay taxes, get out of debt, and invest in the stock market. I don't do any of those things because I don't have to. Well, it is what this big word called education is. So please check out Jim Rickards. His latest thing on the CBDC is exactly what I've been warning about in this. The central bank is Marxist, and the control of the currency is the key. So now they have social credit scores and all this. You won't be able to do anything. And most Americans are so apathetic right now. Oh, well, so what? And that's why I always say to people, Semper Fi, let's fight back. Marines fight back. So that's why I'll back a candidate like DeSantis or Trump, anybody who'll fight. But I've met some real wimps out here. Oh my God. I mean, they're terrible. We have to fight back. We choose our politicians wisely. Even Stalin said, it's not who votes that counts. It's who counts the votes.
It's who counts the votes.
I mean, we've been warned about this stuff.
So, what are your thoughts about communism versus capitalism debate? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.